So today we're looking at how to make a like a low-tech perimeter alarm or tripwire. You can do this for if you got a bunch of animals in the area too, you're camping as a perimeter alarm, not just people, but bear territory or something like that, something to early warn you. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this type of device before, but it's has been done in a lot of different ways, and in movies you'll see it kind of depicted, but it won't actually be right. But how this works is now, in the future I may show how to use this with an E-tool. This is actually a Marine Corps technique on a perimeter alarm. But we're going to use cans because a lot of people know that. So basically what I did is I found a tree that has a pretty good length in between it, so you'll see why that's important later. But I basically suspended some tin cans, sardine cans, drink cans, and all that kind of stuff. I even used a lid so it makes a noise, and it doesn't have to be super loud. You're not trying to warn Australia or anything. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tie up a piece of paracord or some kind of cordage, and in between the two trees too, and it needs to be kind of loose. And this may be something we have to play with to make sure that is a good length. So you want it to be kind of loose here. So then I'm going to take a stick here, and I'm going to set it up so that it goes in between here, and I start twisting. And I'm going to put a lot of tension on this, and I may have to move it up a little bit. You can see we want it to hit those cans. You want it centered now, the stick's centered, or else it'll fly off whenever it releases. So that's a good one there. And so we're just going to keep twisting. And you want to get a lot of suspension there. A lot of tension here. And so when that releases, it's going to hit those cans like this right there. Now we got the tension on the line here. I can set a brace stick right there. And then, now this right here would work if I had a very small brace stick, but the fact is you need something that pulls away and allows everything to drop, because we want to have what like most traps have is some type of trigger stick, and you got to play with it to get it right. But the trigger stick is what we're going to tie our trip wire to. So you can see the tension of this line is holding this into place, and now we're just going to tie our trip wire to that. Let me talk about the trip line we're using real quick. Last month, I've talked about this trip wire long ago, but we got people that come in at varying times. So last month I used monofilament because a lot of people carry that in their survival kit, and I wanted to show that, and people were like, oh my gosh, you can use Fireline. I said that years ago. You didn't make it up, I said it years ago. Fireline is great because it's the smoke color, you can't see it whatsoever. It does a great job. It's braided line, so there's no stretch. You can cut through stuff with this. It's a good item to have in your kit, and I like to have it in my survival kit too. So anyhow, that's what we're using as a trip wire. Have it set up here on this trigger stick there, and I'm gonna go across here. And I got to be careful because I can't even, like I said, see this. But what I'm gonna do is, because I don't have like an eyelet, I want this to come straight down. I'm going to take this little stick here and kind of hold this into place. And you can use a root if you don't have any. The same thing as an eyelet. I use a little Y stick. And then I'm going to go across the ground here. You can see where that line, I don't know if you can see, but the line is about this far off the deck, and I can't even hardly see it. So it's doing a great job, camouflaging. And just got to be real careful, make sure I don't trip it while I'm setting it. I would go ahead and tie it up probably to this other tree before I did. this. It doesn't need to be real tight because this under tension is going to pop. But now we got it set up so you can't see it. I can't see it hardly whatsoever. So the trap is actually concealed now, because you want that thing concealed. You don't want somebody can see some tin cans hanging up too, walking through this path here, and they're just going to come walking through here. And you know, the problem that happened with that is that it got hooked on that can, and that could happen, but it gave the noise. I mean, it was enough to, you know, alert me to what happened. Pretty effective, especially in a quiet forest, you know, out here. There's no sound except for the animals, you know. You hear that go off in the middle of the night, you know, somebody's entering your camp. So it's a great low-tech option. And like I said before, I'll show in a future video sometime how to do this with an E-tool, Marine Corps technique. This is also a Marine Corps technique as well, but anyhow, low-tech, escape and evasion, grid down scenario, or if you're just a regular hiker or camper, you know, you're setting up in bear country or something and you want to be alerted. So anyhow, Fireline, I'll put links to that below. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Also, go over to Instagram, I'll put the link there. And if you make this trap, go hashtag Black Scout Traps, and I'll put what that hashtag Black Scout Traps is down there for guys that are just new to Instagram, because I want to see you guys make these traps. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching Black Scout Survival.